In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make customized embroidered jackets for your print-on-demand shop. Now, right now, this summer, denim jackets have been one of the most popular sellers on Etsy, and because this isn't just your average t-shirt or sweatshirt, it's a much more high-ticket item, you can demand a lot of profit for something like this, so meaning you would only have to make a few sales to make a substantial amount of revenue in your business. Now, even though this seems like it might be more complicated than just selling your average t-shirt, it's really simple to make embroidered designs using Printify. So I'm going to show you every step from picking out your product, creating a really good design, finding a niche that's going to sell well for that embroidered design, and then actually uploading it to sell on Etsy. So let's not waste any more time and just jump right into it. Now, I am logged into my Printify account, which if you don't know what Printify is or you don't know how to sell print-on-demand items, Printify is a manufacturing partner that works with print-on-demand sellers to be able to sell items on Etsy. So if you don't want to have a full embroidery setup at your own home where you're making everything by hand, you have to have a bunch of inventory, you're shipping things out, the best way you can do this is the print-on-demand way, where you're partnering with someone else who is doing everything from packing your orders, they're embroidering them, they are shipping them to your customers, they are handling all that back-end stuff. All you're doing is finding really great niches, making designs, and uploading those to your shop. So it makes the process really simple. I have used Printify as a manufacturing partner for years and years. Can't recommend them enough. I'll have all their information linked down below, but I am just on their product dashboard. So they have all of your typical print-on-demand products like t-shirts, mugs, they have notebooks, stickers, hats, you name it. But what I've really been loving right now, because they are so popular, is their brand new revamped embroidery section. So I'm going to go over to their catalog and go over to where it says embroidery, and this is going to show us some of the products that you can embroider with Printify. So they have quite a few options and they're always adding more, so definitely check back on this for some new product types. Like this vintage cap has been super popular lately. This is a great one to sell as a print-on-demand item, but I'm going to show you the one we're going to do today. It is this really cool unisex denim jacket. Now, the denim jacket on Printify has 3 different color options. So there's just your classic denim, they have a white denim version and a black denim version. All of them look really nice. They're really high quality, but I think today we're just going to stick with the classic denim option. And like I said, this is a higher ticket item, but we can charge quite a premium price for it. People, when they go on Etsy looking for a more customized embroidered jacket, something like this, they know they're going to pay somewhat of a higher price, especially much higher than something like a hoodie or a sweatshirt. So once we picked out what we want to do, we're just going to go ahead and click start designing. Now on the jacket, there are several different print areas where you can actually add embroidery. So they have the left chest, like right up here at the top. They have a large back area, which is personally my favorite. And then you can add some things to the right and left wrist. So today, I think we're definitely going to capitalize on the big back portion. This is going to be probably our mock-up photo, the star of the show, where we're going to put the biggest bit of embroidery here. But I think we might also add something to the left chest as well, so that there's something on the back and the front, which is a really popular style. Now, if you notice each area that you click on, it will show you the print area size. So for this smaller chest area, that's going to be 900 by 900 pixels. And then the large back area is 3000 pixels by 1800 pixels. So that is what we're going to keep in mind when we start making our design. Now, before we can move on to making our design, making the embroidery process, digitizing anything, we're going to have to figure out what niche we want to sell in. Now, you guys have probably heard me talk about this before if you've watched any of my other videos, but one of the best ways you can make money in print on demand is capitalizing on things people are passionate about. So some of those categories people are passionate about are things like their family, their pets, their hobbies, their careers, holidays coming up. All of those make really good niches. And today I think that we can capitalize on a pretty popular career niche, but since we are doing a product that is a little bit more uncommon, we're going to be able to make sales even though there is quite a bit of competition. If you have never seen this before, I actually have a free resource for you guys, which is my cross-niching guidebook. It's going to help you come up with over 40,000 different niche ideas, but it has tons of different categories of things that people are passionate about that make really good niches. So there's even a whole career section. And today we are going to be making a design for a registered registered nurse or someone who just became a registered nurse to make it even a little bit more hyper specific. Nurses buy tons of print on demand items, but like I said, it can be more competitive. So if you can do something that's a little bit more outside of the box, like a denim jacket, that is going to help you stand out. Now, if you wanted to make just a regular print on demand product like a t-shirt for a nurse, another way you could really be able to stand out and have a much more targeted niche is by crossing the niche of nurses with something else, like a holiday coming up. So like a Christmas nurse shirt or a 4th of July nurse shirt, or cross it with something else they're passionate about, like a nurse who loves her golden doodle or a nurse who likes to dance. So anytime you can combine two really popular things, that's going to help you stand out against a lot of competition. So now that we know we're making a denim jacket design for a nurse, we're going to go over to our design suite and start working on this. So I am logged on to my Kittl account, which Kittl is the design suite that I pretty much use to make all of my print on demand designs. I really love them because not only can you make a bunch of things from scratch, but they have tons and tons of templates that you can kind of take and run with to make designs in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just look up nurse and see if there's anything that we can go ahead and just start working with. This one is actually really cute. I think this could be a super fun embroidery design. This one too, nurse mode. This one here as well. I really like this. So I think we could make some of our own tweaks to make it into a really good embroidery design. So let's go ahead and use this template, and this is going to go on the back of our jacket. Now, the very first thing that I'm going to do here is I want to adjust that size to be the optimized size for Printify's denim jackets, which is 3000 by 1800. So I am just going to click on this whole artboard here, and then I am going to edit this to be the correct size. All right, so I adjusted my artboard size. Now I'm just going to select all of this and go ahead and make it take up a lot more of this canvas. Now, right off the bat, this is a really nice looking design, but it is not optimized for embroidery. If we tried to put this on our jacket and have it embroidered, it's going to turn out looking so funny. There are a bunch of different things that you have to make sure to consider when you're making an embroidery project. Limits to how many colors you can use, limits to what colors you can use, the types of designs you can do, and it can get a little bit confusing. So I have actually put together just a free PDF guide for you guys. It is just my embroidery color guide. You can download this, you can print it, you can just have it with you to reference, and it's going to tell you all of the supported colors for embroidery as well as some of the other things you need to consider when you are making an embroidered design. So I'm going to kind of use this as a cheat sheet, especially for my colors. And again, you can get that down below in the description. I'll send it to you free in your inbox. Now, besides just needing to change the colors, the other thing we're going to need to do is limit how many colors we're using. So we are limited to using only 6 colors when we do print embroidery products. So this already has way too many colors for it to turn out right. So we're going to start just editing this and kind of limiting what is on here. And then I don't want this to be just specifically for a neonatal nurse. I thought we could do something instead that's like nurse established 2025, or even looking forward to the next year, established 2026 might be a really good option for the upcoming graduating class. So let's go ahead and change this. And I'm not really loving this font. So let's see if we can find some other script font right here that might look a little bit better. I like that one. That's also really cute. That birthstone one, that's really nice as well. So I think I'm going to change it to that. And now let's start working on these colors. So first of all, we're going to be printing this on not the white jacket, but the denim jacket. So I'm just going to change this to be kind of like a darker blue color, just to give us an idea of what the design will look like. Obviously, when we actually download the design, we're not going to download the background, but this will just help us know which colors will actually work. And for my embroidery designs, honestly, I like to keep them as simple as possible. So I'm going to actually just change a lot of this to be white. So like the nurse, so we don't have to mess with colors, I'm going to change it to white. This established, I'm going to also change this to white. And then a lot of these flowers, I'm going to go ahead and just change them to white. And it's going to look really pretty. I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people. Just that simple kind of like green and white looking design is going to be super, super nice. Okay, and then I still really like how these leaves kind of look, how it's the two-toned green. And if you remember, there are actually two different green options that we have here for embroidery. So I'm going to change the dark one to this green and then the light one to this green. So I'm just going to type it right here, and then same with this one. All right, and already that is looking super, super nice. I think that will look fabulous on the back of a denim jacket. I really, really like how this turned out. So I'm going to go up here to the download section, and I'm going to click remove background and go ahead and download that to our computer. Now the next part, it's going to be super, super simple. We're making that chest part, and we just want to make it kind of coordinate with what we already did. So I'm going to click new project, and then I'm going to click the size that I want. So I'm going to do 900 by 900 because that is square, and create that. And again, I'll just change the background to be kind of that darker denim color so we can get a good idea. And really all I'm going to do is I am going to copy what we have for the back of the design, put it on the front, and change a few elements. But this just allows me to make sure I have all the fonts the same, I have all the colors the same, and I can make it really, really cohesive, even though I want a little bit of a different design for the front. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all this. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste it here. Obviously, we're going to have to make it quite a bit smaller. And then instead of nurse for this one, I think I'm just going to say RN because that's kind of more square. It's just going to fit a lot better. And then I think I do even want to keep this established. I'm going to make it about the same width as our RN letters here. I think that looks really sharp. And then I'm going to make this quite a bit bigger. And then for our flowers here, I'm going to go ahead and ungroup these so I can kind of play with them individually. And I'm just going to take a couple of them and kind of put them on the sides here. Same with this one, a little bigger, put it on the side. And I'm going to get rid of the rest of these. And this is looking super, super cute. All right, and once we're happy with that for the front patch, we're just going to go ahead and download this the exact same way where we remove the background and download. And now is the fun part where we're actually going to get to see what this is going to look like and how it all comes together. So we're going to go back over to Printify, and we're just going to go ahead and go to the upload section and upload from my device, and just go ahead and put that large design for the back here. And that is looking really, really good in terms of the spacing. Now let's go to the chest section, click upload, and same thing, click my device. Then we added that little tiny bit of embroidery right here. Now we're going to go over to the preview section, and we can see what this would actually look like on our finished product. All right, that looks really, really good. We can see the design looks super, super nice and sharp right here. Let's take a look at what the back is going to look like too. This is definitely going to be my favorite part. That looks really, really good. I love how the flowers turned out, and I think even just doing the white, it looks really, really sharp, and kind of this groovy font is very, very popular. So I think this is going to do really, really well on Etsy. So once we're happy with that, if it doesn't look how you like, sometimes if you do too many colors or you accidentally pick a wrong embroidery thread color, it can kind of do some funky things. So make sure you always look at the preview, what it's going to look like first. And if you need to make any tweaks in your design, you can go ahead and do that. But this is looking pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and save this product, and we're going to start the process of actually making our listing on Etsy for this. All right, so we have our two mock-ups here. We're just going to click save, and we can pick which one is the primary. So sometimes it defaults to having this front image as the primary, and if you're just doing something on the front, that could be a good one to add. But usually the star of the show is going to be the back of the jacket, so we're going to want that to be the mock-up we use. Or even better, you can make a even more customized mock-up with someplace like Placeit. They have thousands of mock-ups that you can easily make. I'll link them down below as well. But for right now, we're just going to have this one be the primary image. And then we're going to start working on the listing details. So one really cool thing about Printify is they have AI for your listings built right into the format. So you can give it a little bit of information about what niche you're selling in, what your product is, and then it's going to look at really similar listings, and it's going to make you a very optimized title and description for this product. So we're going to go ahead and click generate with AI, and we are going to tell it a little bit about our design. All right, so I told it a little bit about the design. So I said cute retro floral nurse established 2026, embroidered denim jacket for new nurses, and then some other keywords I think would be good to include. So RN, CRNA, and nurse graduation gift. So I'm going to click generate and it's going to come up with the title and description for us. So let's click apply to listing. So it said embroidered nurse denim jacket, cute floral RN, CRNA, nurse graduation gift, retro established 2026. And then I'm going to throw in some other things like best gift for nurse, or even something like best gift for nurses week. All right, that is looking good. And then the description, it came up with this retro floral nurse established 2026 embroidered denim jacket is the perfect gift for new nurses, RN, CRNAs, or as a new nurse graduation gift. And then a few other things. So we could add some more information at the front, but this looks pretty good and includes a lot of our keywords. So I'm going to keep it as is. And then it went ahead and it added some tags for us. So a lot of these are pretty good, but I think unisex denim coat, I don't love that one. Embroidery fashion I don't love. I might add like embroidered nurse and then like best nurse. Okay, that's pretty good. I like most of those tags. And then we are able to click the shipping methods. So you can either do economy or the standard shipping that goes worldwide. And this is where we would adjust our pricing for our items. Now, since this is such a high ticket item, I might make the profit margin maybe even a less than 40% to be something like $149.99. So I can edit the price for all of them and do $149.99 and apply that to all. That just is a cleaner looking price in my opinion, and it's just a little bit cheaper than that other one. So that looks pretty good. And then once we're happy with this, we're going to go ahead and push publish. It's going to move it over to our Etsy shop where we can make some final adjustments. So right now it is just publishing. All right, and this has now changed to publish. So that means it's going to be in our Etsy shop under the listings. All right, so it is right here. And just to make some final adjustments, I'm going to go and click this gear icon and click edit. And if we wanted to, we could add some more mock-up photos here, which again, I think that adding some more mock-up photos does not hurt, especially if you can make it of like a real person wearing this. So I might have like a person kind of with the denim jacket over their shoulders a little bit. Playset has tons of mock-ups like that. So that's what I would be doing. And then most of this has already transferred over from Printify and looks pretty good. All right, so the main thing that I like to do in Etsy is I'm just going to add a shop section. So I'm going to go here to the shop section and then either add a section or select one that I have. So I just made this best nurse gifts section and I'm going to add that. And the really important thing about adding a shop section is it's not just organizing your store, it's actually adding a little bit more SEO about your item to give a better idea to Etsy of who this item is for and where they should place it in their algorithm. And then if you want to enroll it in ads, you can do that, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it off since it's a new listing and go ahead and publish those changes. Right, so it's been updated and now we can go ahead and view our listing on Etsy with all the changes we just made. So you can see the price, you can see our mock-up photo and the front image as well, as well as our whole description here and all the sizes you can get. Now again, this is a super popular item, and since it's a little bit more uncommon, you can probably do a lot of niches that have a lot more competition. So I highly suggest looking at some of Printify's new embroidered products. They are really hot sellers pretty much all year long, and I will link all their information down below in the description, as well as a lot of the other free resources that I talked about here. You can find all of those, including the embroidery guide and my cross-nation guide down below. And if you want even more ideas of some fun embroidery projects to sell this year, I highly recommend checking out this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.